Okay, Cyrodiil. Pirates of the high seas. What would a brave girl like you like to hear? Let me think. Oh, I know the perfect story. Aerin, a young pirate captain, and his crew are sailing on the Sea of Ghosts. One day, they get into a wild and heavy storm. The sky turns black and the forces of nature are discharged. The pirate ship can't stand the storm and bounces against a rock near the coast. It shatters. Aerin's entire crew gets killed. As I said, the coast is near, but Aerin can't reach it. He is wounded and powerless. But he succeeds at least to save himself on an ice floe.
How am I ever going to get away from it?
The sea is freezing cold, full of sharks, slaughterfish, and other dangerous creatures. He loses any hope of rescue and falls into a deep sleep, until a young and extremely curious mermaid finds him and brings him safely ashore. Fascinated by the human being, she watches him for a while.
Just how beautiful you are. I'm sorry, but I can't do more than watch over you.
It takes 3 days and nights until he awakes again. After recovering, he realizes that some of the ship's goods have been washed ashore. Enough to set up a small makeshift camp where he can stay for a while. But, oh, what a mess! He has lost a very precious magic gem, which he absolutely must have back from the sea. Only, he cannot do it alone. But he has to find that gem. The mermaid, who curiously watches him from far away, gains enough trust and reveals herself to him. After some time, both find the courage to talk to each other. And Aerin tells her everything. Also, that he doesn't know how he got rescued.
Suddenly, I woke up on land, but I just remember I was on an ice floe, quite far out. What happened? How?
The mermaid laughs and tells him how she saved him.
In the water, it was the easier part. Getting you ashore was difficult. And then I was afraid that you could slip back into the water again. So I took care of you.
Aerin instantly falls in love with her and tells her about that gem, which is so very important to him. And she helps him get the gem back.
No way!
Not sure where exactly the ship has sunk, she asks all the underwater creatures. Maybe the whales have a clue. They love good stories. The slaughterfish is sometimes a bit rough, but when you sing him a song, he almost becomes tame. The crab knows nothing, but advises her to swim to the narwhals. The crazy critters, maybe they know more. The narwhals just advise her to ask the fat ones. They've already settled down in the shipwreck.
If they let me get their gemstone?
Aerin, meanwhile, sits on the bank and blames himself.
What if something happens to her? I could never forgive myself.
And as he sits there, she appears full of joy in front of him and gives him the gem.
How did you... Where do you have...
Oh, I just had to sing a song, tell a story, and scratch the old shark's belly.
Out of gratitude for his rescue and because he fell in love with her at first sight, he grants her one single wish.
That is totally so cool.
only wish this magic gem can fulfill. And she wishes Aerin to be able to breathe underwater, so that he never gets in trouble again and she can show him her world. Of course, she had already fallen in love with him. But you already knew that, Sorella, right?
Yes.
Over time, they are learning a lot about each other and reach a common precious knowledge. Much more precious than the most precious gems. That they want to stay together until the end of their days.
Whoa. That is totally so cool.
Guardian General, Countess, at last the gods have answered my prayers.
Well met, Quintus. I hope you've been keeping well.
As well as can be expected. It's been a long time.
Pity it's not under more pleasant circumstances.
Indeed. Sethius has told me all there is to know about our task at hand. What evil has been plaguing our lands, and the reason behind it. I couldn't figure it out at first. Why would the Emperor, so-called, send me all the way to this region when the raiders we were meant to prevent were protected with immunity? Yes, they come into Cyrodiil and we prevent further excursions, but we are not allowed to follow them back to their base. At the very foot of that mountain, Morag Sethius informed me that crossing the border and marching into Hammerfell was irregular, and could be seen as an act of war. But the real reason is all too sinister and depraved. I thought they were slavers at first, their spoils mostly comprised of people. People that go into that mountain and never come out. But now it's clear. What a fool I have been.
You weren't to know, Quintus.
Cassius told me you were coming. My sword is yours to command.
Thank you, Quintus. That's good to know.
What's up there, Quintus?
An army of leeches. At the foot of the mountain, there's a considerable force of raiders. They do the dirty work, round up the people and have them sent to the pits. Further up, there's a small battalion of mercenaries defending the ruins.
The pits?
There's some ancient Aelid ruins on the top of that mountain, but they lead deep into the earth, to the antechamber where they keep the Bridge of Sighs. The pits are winding catacombs, where, as I said, the army of leeches are located, vampiric defilers. We now know they are the Akaviri, human remnants. The people are harvested there. Not only that, the soul gem is protected by Taisi sergeants, led by General Oxyamaka. Oddly enough, he's the only one we can name. The others, they're just numbers.
The same one I slew at Bloodlet Throne, and we encountered on Roscrea.
The very same.
How many, Sethri?
I lost count.
So why the heavy presence of Akviri?
Cassius bought a map from their war galley you destroyed in the Sea of Ghosts. Invasion routes is our guess. We think they've been secretly biding their time.
Waiting for the moment to come. The age of the serpent.
Let's get down to business, Quintus.
Of course. When Cassius arrived several days ago, we discussed the offensive. First, we had the problem of the river. I travelled to Anvil and persuaded the Count to allow me to build a pontoon. You saw it as you arrived. I told him it was prudent to have a forward warning post connected to the main camp. Of course, none of the nobles here in the Gold Coast know anything about the truth. But I told him it was imperative, and it would stop the slavers.
Quintus has been sending patrols frequently. We don't think it's caused the enemy to become too suspicious. 20 men go out, 10 come back.
Half of my men are already on the Hammerfell side of the river. Good men, Guardian. They are loyal, and Cassius's arrival has bolstered morale. Many are from his old legion. And now you and the Countess are here. They are ready and at your command.
Good work, Quintus. Do we have any plans of their defences?
Here, on the map, the raiders have a base camp at the foot of the mountain. We need to force our way through to access the rampart that leads to the top.
We would need to hit them with everything we have.
Agreed. At the top, the Aeoliad ruins are occupied by mercenaries. A company-sized unit mainly consisting of elven renegades and a few orcs. They've been there since I arrived, probably the remnants of the New Order. They are also supplied by the raiders.
Once we hit the raiders' camp, we're hoping the mercs will just think it's one of Quintus' patrols stay too deep and ignore us.
I've stepped up patrols and forced some skirmishes lately, so it won't seem too out of the ordinary. But once we hit them hard at the foot of the mountain, I suggest you take some veterans and make your way as quickly as possible to the summit and neutralize the mercenaries as quick as possible.
Once inside, they'll know we're here. Speed is of the essence.
Is Mirag Sethius in there?
She's been here for a few days.
There will be no quarter given, Guardian. No pity. I'll be taking no prisoners. Every man available will be needed.
Sethri, can you acquire any supplies, potions, cures for disease, that sort of thing?
As it happens, I came across a few crates of some such items, carelessly left by the Anvil docks, and have made sure of their distribution amongst the troops. Of course, I saved you and the Countess, so just in case.
Good man, Sethri. Also, I want you to keep an eye on Sorella. You can heal, right?
Don't worry, Dragonborn. As a mage, my place is also to protect Sorella.
That's good, my friend.
General Quintus, there's an envoy here to see you. Expecting visitors, Quintus?
Not that I know of. Who is it, soldier?
They're asking for the Guardian General and the Countess Rigmor.
Who could that be?
The last Dragonborn. And the Princess of Tamriel. We have a dossier on you, milady, worthy of its own library shelf.
What is it you want here, Justicar?
Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Count Valeronan Cameas of Lelandril, envoy of the Almere Dominion, and Commander-in-Chief of Tesso, the Elven Special Operations. There are elven criminals that need to have swift justice exacted upon them. Renegades and former New Order traitors dug in on the top of Table Mountain, and I have been sent to offer my services as a gesture of goodwill between the Empire and the Dominion.
Yeah, right.
I don't ask that you like us, Countess. I only ask for your trust.
Trust? Your organization is no better than that of the New Order. Wherever the Thalmor tread, they leave a trail of misery, torture, and death. The only good thing Sethius did was kick you out of Cyrodiil.
I do understand your hostility, and I don't blame you, not for one moment. We, the Dominion, owe you a debt of gratitude for helping bring about the demise of the New Order. And I want to take this chance to personally apologize on our behalf for the suffering you endured at the hands of that traitor, the Thalmor General.
Don't you even dare mention his name.
No. Of course. How insensitive of me. But General Quintus, my special forces are at your disposal if you so wish it. I hope we can unite to bring about an end to the monster that resides within that mountain. And might I, at the very least, be offered the courtesy of parley, as to understand the situation? Please do not be alarmed. or suspicious. This letter of introduction should suffice to prove my intentions are genuine. It is signed by many dignitaries, including the Council of Elders in Exile, the High Justicia from the Isles, and diplomatic emissaries from Valenwood and elsewhere, to name but a few.
That's a lot of names. You must be very special to be endorsed by virtually the whole of Tamriel, Count Cameus.
And what's in it for you?
We only want to win the war. As I said, milady, we owe you a debt of gratitude. Nothing more.
Quintus, you can't trust this ass clown. He's a Justicar, a Thalmor.
It's pronounced Justicia.
Rigmor. Even Bar and Dar is a signator. Let's all go inside and discuss the planning there.
Whatever. I think I'll just go take a walk. The air around here has become unpleasant,
Rigmor, wait.
to say the least.
Guardian General, see if you can talk some sense into her. I'll bring the Count up to date.
If you've come to talk me around, don't waste your breath.
Rigmor, this is a special situation. Any help is welcome.
I don't trust them. Damn elves. No, I didn't mean it like that.
I know you didn't mean it. But remember, the enemy of my enemy.
Yeah, I remember. The enemy of my enemy is still my enemy.
Rigmor, come on. You have to let it go.
Let it go! They murdered my father in the worst way possible. He was denied a warrior's death, and they paraded him around the street of Alinor. While the people spat upon him, Dragonborn, they kicked and beat him, and they publicly hanged him for all the world to see. And he was all alone, and there was no one there for him. They tore my family apart, enslaved my mom, and flogged me to within an inch of my life. No, I will not let it go, so don't you dare try to patronize me. They will always be my enemy, and I can never, ever forgive them.
This guy exacted justice on those who harmed your family.
I want nothing to do with him, or his special forces.
He at least had the decency to apologize.
So that makes it all right.
Of course not, Rigmor. I don't want to argue. No more arguing.
Okay. Maybe you're right. Come on, then. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Here's the map. As you can see, the mountain has at its foot a base camp, Red Guard nomad raiders. The heights and the top are guarded by mercenaries, a few orcs, and your elven renegades.
I see. And the plan?
We attack the base camp simultaneously in a pincer movement. The Guardian and Countess ascend the slopes and take control of the heights. That's where you come in.
I suggest my forces are to accompany the Countess. Not only to take out the renegades, but to offer some protection.
I have updated the Count. He is to accompany your assault on the heights.
Are you with child?
Hold back, Cameus.
What? How dare you? You had better keep your distance, Count Cameus, or I won't be responsible for what happens to you. As soon as you've dealt with your elven renegades, I want you out of here. Do we understand each other?
You're lucky I don't knock you the fuck out.
My apologies. I assumed...
He's going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Can we talk privately? Thank you, General Quintus, for your hospitality. We'll be waiting for the attack to begin, then join you.
Explain yourself, Cameus.
You and I both know what's going on here, Guardian. I assume you spoke to the priest.
What do you know of him, this priest?
He appears like a ghostly apparition, out of nowhere, but can only walk amongst us for a short time. At first it bothered me greatly. He told me of my own destiny, how it was entwined with yours, that we will both go on to become harbingers of a new era for men and mare, and beast.
Is he a god?
I believe so, or is a guiding voice for them. He is the reason I am here at all.
What did he say about me?
He said that you must look inside yourself to find who you are, that you are unpredictable and it worries the gods, and if you were to deny them, other ways would need to be sought to fulfill the prophecy.
Rigmor bearing my child, you mean? Even against my will?
Did she touch the shrine?
Yes, she touched the shrine.
I see. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, who are you? Some kind of apparition like the priest?
We are just pawns in a game not of our choosing, Dragon Slayer. We are all servants of the great Lord Akatosh.
I serve no one.
Are you really such a blind fool? I think not. The gods are cruel. They play their games, but this time, the threat is real. I was chosen by the priest to gather a force, a special force, and I've been waiting years, biding my time, only for this moment.
I could have done this without you.
You think you can enter that mountain and prevail against the undead alone? What awaits you in there is beyond the realms of mortals, and the only safe way through, to bring that little girl, the orphan bandit child, to do what must be done, can only be accomplished at the point of my silver swords. I am afraid that the Countess, no, Princess, will have to endure my company for a little while longer. It must be so debilitating for her, after everything she has been through all these years.
You know nothing about Rigmor.
I am on your side, Dragon Slayer. On Rigmor's side. I personally took responsibility for the apprehension of the new order in Alnor, and I've been playing my role in the game, as you yours.
I play no games. Not for you, the priest, the Daedra, or the gods.
Blind fool, look at you! What are you? Obviously you cannot even recall any schooling. Do you even remember where you were born? Where exactly do you hail from? Do you recall anything at all about your past? Is there one single thing you can tell me about yourself? Were you hatched from an egg, or forged in a dank pool from offal?
Tread carefully, my friend.
What of her? Rigmor, child of Ragnar named Sigurdsdottir. Her whole life is a book. A tragedy to be read by all and sundry. A child chosen for a fate worse than death, and she keeps enduring. She keeps giving. Her strength and resolve unsurpassed.
We're done here, Cameus.
She is born to reign, and born to bear a child, and you no longer will be the last Dragonborn. For there shall be another. Akatosh wills it, and it will be done. So we're not done. Not yet, Dragon Slayer. Not by a long chalk.
What if I chose to defy the gods and free Rigmor from her bond?
It's too late. Whether you like it or not, Rigmor's life was never hers to live. She is of the Mede dynastic bloodline, and will take her rightful place. The people will demand it. You can, of course, wander the wilderness for the rest of your days, or drink yourself to death. Have you spoken to the princess, Rigmor, about her fate? Because you should.
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
But what if, when you arrive there, there is no bridge to cross? You owe her the truth at the very least. Stop treating her like a fragile porcelain doll. you may come to find that actually, she does have what it takes after all. The child will be a septim, and she will be called Kintyra. Who you are should be as plain as the nose on your face. Until next time.